What's up, YouTube traders? This is William, and we're gonna bring back the curtain just a little bit on some of the activities we do in our room for members. All right, so this is our chat room from live earlier today. I've muted the recording and I'm talking over it for now, but just I gotta set this up so you understand what we're gonna watch. In the middle here is where a member trade is. They submitted it and I opened it up so we can all see the trade together and talk about it. Then over here on the left-hand side, it's where the members interact and can chat with each other, ask questions to all of us, make comments and give insight. And then I read that and then we can go back and forth about it. So that's just what it looks like, okay? Every Tuesday and Thursday, we do something called a trade review, where all members are welcomed and encouraged to submit their trades from that day or previous days, talk about the technical skills, talk about the psychological issues, talk about all aspects related to that trade and then trading in general. And we share this as a team. We look at these charts together to see if it was a good setup, a bad setup, no setup, what they saw, what they didn't see, if people agree with them. And then we go into deeper issues in terms of psychological issues and what new traders need to do to get better. And this is a 20-minute clip from the session today that I just wanted to share with you. And so please sit back and try to watch, especially if you're a new trader just getting into trading and you have some experience, because this might relate so much to you, okay? And you might actually get a lot out of this video because it's not a sales video. It's not a marketing video. It's what we do in our chat room to help the members that are already part of our community. So we just want to show you that and hope it is something of interest for you to watch and listen. Okay, saw the 9 crossing VWAP and entered much later than I wished. So it looks like you chased, but got in on a hotkey mistake. Okay, did okay, thank God, on the first trade. Then went in again, and I had waited enough, but panicked and didn't get out. Turns out I thought I planned the trade, but I hadn't. I didn't have a clear stop on the second trade. I lost half of what I had gained. I hope this is lesson learned. I'll tell you right now, Eagle Bear, before getting into your trade, it's not a lesson learned. You don't make one mistake in life and then you never do it again. Wouldn't that be fantastic? But in trading, it's even worse. Like you're even more likely. Yeah, I would. You're even more likely to make the same mistake over and over and over again. And why is that? Because in the moment, you're never going to remember this. Tomorrow, if you trade in the first 4 minutes, you really think, maybe tomorrow, but let's say a week later, you're going to remember this one Roku trade out of all of the things you need to remember and think about, and the flashing and everything that's going on, you're going to remember Roku trade. And if you do, it means you're forgetting about other things. It takes time to build up discipline on each of the sins that we do. It is not fail once, never fail, never make that same mistake again. I wish it was. And as a new trader, I thought it worked like that. So, I'll just have my sins and I'll cross them off every time I do one. I understand. Lesson learned. Won't do that again. Won't do that again. It's not. Because we forget. We are micro-focused and we don't even think about those past mistakes in the moment. Or we see something like, I know I did that before, but look at this. This one at a time, it's going to work out. And then it does the same thing again. And it's only when, how you do that is you take one or two of your sins or things that you really want to work on and you put focus on that each and every day for 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. And you make that your priority, that no matter what, you don't make this mistake. And then once that becomes second nature and a habit for you, then you start to move on to something else. You will not fix your problem by making one mistake and saying you've lesson learned, you're never going to do it again. Zen, how long did it take you to do that? Because for me, it was missing my stops. And it took me, before I even started working on it, I just kept missing my stops and I said I would never do it again and I always did it again. So when I actively worked on it, I think it took about a month. Yeah, missing. I'm still working on that sin. So you're better at averaging. You don't average down, but you still miss a stop. Good, Zen. Now, once you've conquered something, Zen, do not think that it's impossible to relapse, because it is. And if you relapse once, then you've already proven yourself that you can relapse again. Here's how it goes, Zen. You do something or you stop doing something for a couple weeks or a couple months or a long time. Okay, and then you think it's gone. So then you put less focus on it. You move on to something else. And then one time you average down again. And you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe I did that. Well, this isn't me anymore. I'm never going to do this again. You've already proven to yourself that you can break that rule. And to think you only have to say that you will never break it again and that's all it takes is a fallacy, and you will break it again in the future. So these sins that are major, you always need to work on them. You always need to keep up with them. Even when you're doing good, remind yourself, how did you become so good at stopping averaging down? Continue to do that so it never comes back. It's like practicing for, in healthcare, you've gotten better, Zen. Now are you going to take preventative measures, or are you going to just leave it be? It's like, no, take preventative measures and continue to do what you did to get better. Oh, no, I know, I understand. I'm just using your example because I've been through the same thing that's happened to me. You're doing great. Keep it up. Just know that it can come back. And how I'm trying to help you is to know that it won't come back is continue to focus on it. Just never forget how you got better at it. Continue to do that even though you're better at it. That's all. And then it won't come back. That's all you got to do there. I had stopping out at 1 hour down, then I lost more than 1 hour multiple times. Yep, JD, same thing. Great. Back to the trade now. So, saw the 9 crossing VWAP, but I got in, hotkey mistake, did okay, then went in again thinking I had waited enough. Okay, Eagle Bear. Yeah. I see it. Eagle Bear, how many... Okay, this is a time when it matters. You know, I haven't asked this yet to people. Sometimes I know and sometimes it doesn't matter. Are you sim or real, Eagle Bear? Maybe I've asked you in the past, but I never remember. All right, how many share size did you take? You don't have to answer, or you can private message me. Okay, 100 shares. Now, let's say if this was MU. How many shares, let's say this exact same chart pattern happens. How many shares would you have taken if it was MU? Right, exactly. Okay, so number 1, I already knew that was the answer. When new traders trade in even dollar lots and then they trade a stock like Roku, all I have to do is ask them like, okay, well, what would you trade if it was MU? And then all of a sudden it clicks like, yeah, what are you failing to do? It's like, what's the most important thing in trading? And even though it worked out in your favor this time, what did you fail to do? You didn't manage your risk properly. And you can't tell from this one trade, but if you're trading in 100 shares here and you would have made the same trade in MU, that's not good risk management. And also, if you're getting out 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 60 seconds later, when there is not a single sign to get out in terms of the charts, and if you're a new trader, I'm not thinking you can read the level 2 and time and sales accurately. I'm not harping on you, Eagle Bear. I'll give a perfect example, right? Short, exit, right? That's 4 executions in 2 minutes. And it could have been a lot less, right? It could have, I don't know where it was. It could have been 1 minute and 30 seconds. I've mentioned it before, but since we always get new traders in, and even for the intermediate traders and even the really good traders, sometimes we lose sight of the overall picture. And sometimes it's because we want to follow Andrew, or sometimes it's because FOMO. But when we did our office hours program, and we had we had 5 or 6 traders come in, and we started looking at their trades. Do you guys know what every single trader did? They were all newish traders in a way. Not all of them. There was a couple experienced traders, but every single trader, when they sent us their trades, they did the same thing. Does anyone remember or know what that is? No. Nope. Well, they would always do that too. But why do you get out too soon? There's a reason. And that actually is fairly accurate answer. But there's a reason, a specific reason. So maybe this is new to you guys. Maybe this is new to a lot of people. So it's a good. So I'll give you guys a minute. Nope. It's something more broad. Michelle, it's more broad. Robinson, it's more broad. Stewart, it's a little better, but you see the white can't get freaked out, and that's part of it, and that is part of it. That's a little closer, and Stewart kind of. No, well, no one did that hammer. Well, maybe they did, but that's not what I'm going for. Nope, Vikram, nope. This is all right. So good. So this will be really good for a lot of us who Maybe we have a lot, even Vikram, right? I've talked with you a lot, but I forget you're fairly new to our room, and we did the office hours a long time ago, and we learned a whole lot from how new traders trade. No, Michelle. That the resistance is over. No, and it's simply that all of these traders shared their charts, and they were all trading on the 1 minute chart, and they would get in and out without any signal of any sort of directional change, without any understanding of like where to put your stop, which is what you guys were saying, where to put your profit. But that's because all they were doing was getting freaked the F out off the 1 minute. They would be like, they would enter in right here like he did, and they're like, oh, I got the big dump, I gotta get out, right? I gotta lock in my profit, because they didn't have an idea of the larger time frames and letting a move materialize. Or they'd see one candle, oh no, it's a white candle, gotta get out, right? When, what has this candle done? Like, absolutely nothing. It just moved 40 cents because it's a volatile stock at the open, which is why you don't trade Roku at the open as a new trader with 100 shares if you trade 100 shares on other stocks. Because 40 cents, like MU would not move 40 cents in 30 seconds unless it was in play. But really, look at this. You guys see this? No new 1 minute high. No new 1 minute high. Right there, finally you get a new 1 minute high. New 1 minute low. Even that's a low. No new low, no new low. Low, low, low. No new low. You guys see that? It's not even not looking at longer time frames, Michelle. It's that you're so focused on the micro movements of the 1 minute price action that you think this white candle is significant, but it's not. But your brain thinks it is, because that's all you're caring about, these 1 minute micro movements. And you're thinking like, oh, here's the reversal candle. Look at this white candle. Look at this little double bottom, which is not a double bottom, guys. This is not a double bottom, but you think, here's the bottom. Why didn't it just dump on me, you know? And you just look at the 1 minute chart and you try to trade price action. Hey, Lexi, did I finally get you to, that must have connected with you, Lexi. I don't think I've ever seen you say anything. So, right? The sad thing is, I have no idea who Lexi is. I don't think I've ever talked with them. Lexi, if you came out to say that, guess what? You might think this is you, but I just told you every single new trader in our program, not new trader, they were not all new. Every single trader in our program was doing this. And so we noticed it right away. That was like the very first thing that came up. Like, wow, guys, like we get that Andrew trades off the 1 minute chart, but we also talk about don't copy Andrew, don't do this, don't do this. But all these trades were off these 1 minute micro action movements, and they'd get stopped out over nothing, and they wouldn't manage their risk properly. And thus, they had to stop out quick because quote unquote big move on Roku of 40 to 50 cents in 30 seconds was too much to risk, when the chart was saying it's bleeding short, but they can't manage their risk properly, and all they care about is these micro movements, like I said, that they just pick the right direction, get the right move, but they stop out because they get freaked out over these tiny little moves. Yeah, Stuart, right? I mean, and Stuart, you've been trading a long time. You just get stuck on the 1 minute chart. I know, like anyone who's short here, unless it's your strategy. If your strategy is momentum, get the heck out, right? No problem. But for you to think that like anything is reversing off of these two candles and you see a reason not to be short, that's not true. And that's why so many traders fail, because you're not interpreting the chart correctly. And some people never learn because they never get in their head that this is the 1 minute chart. This is insignificant. You can trade off it like Andrew, but Andrew's taken many, many years to be able to do that. And for new traders to think they can copy it and read it, you can't. You just can't. Peter, okay, I see that. In this case, so the pullback comes so close to the entry and the big move happens after that. Yeah, Zen? It's still not even a new 1 minute high. No, nothing underneath, under VWAP, no increasing volume. And if you want to be a 30-second and 1 minute, 2 minute trader, get in and out, you can find success. You definitely can. And if that's your strategy to move towards, we have great traders in this room that do that. Andrew does that. Carlos is getting really good at it too. You can do it. But you got to understand things like proper share sizing, number one. You really got to understand that. You got to understand that Andrew lets things go against him in the beginning all the time. Like, he's very good about understanding when things go against him and he should hold or add into it, or when he needs to get out. There's a huge difference there. It's not just like because it's testing the break even, you should get out. Heck yeah, Zen, that's amazing. You can do it. But for a new trader, Zen, that's wanting to learn how to trade, it is the hardest trading style to do. Yet, our main trader, Andrew, does it and makes it look so easy. And we all say, you know, don't do this, don't copy him, learn from him. That's the point of our room. And he's mastered it in a way that proves it can be mastered. But again, it's taken a lot of time and a lot of years. So Peter, how do you overcome that? Well, there's a lot of ways. You can close the 1 minute chart. Don't look at it. You can use the 2 minute chart or just the 5 minute chart. Or you can make the 1 minute chart really small. You know, have it up, but have it really small so you're squinting and you can't really make trades off it, but it's still there, so you're not freaked out about not having it. You can practice, tell yourself for 1 day or 1 week, I'll have that 1 minute chart, but I am not trading off it. I see the information and I am not going to let it trick me into making a trade. Let me use that as the confirmation. I'm not going to stop out on the 1 minute. I'll enter on the 2 or the 5 or the 15. I'll see the 1 minute, but I'm not going to stop out because of one 1 minute candle. Yeah, ZZ Top, you can do that. A lot of people freak out when it's gone. I know this because I did the same thing. So I figured, all right, let's make this really small so my brain thinks it's there for me. But you gotta trade without it for a period of time in one way or another, traders, and then always come back to it. I think of it for many of us, like for Andrew, he's tried the 2 minute, right? A couple of weeks ago, he tried the 2 minute once and he was like, that's not for me. He didn't like it and it didn't work for him. But for a lot of us, the 1 minute, it forces you to do things outside of your setups that you study for. Who studies for a 1 minute setup? Like, is this thing something you study for, Eagle Bear? Enter, yes. Exit, maybe partial. Would you ever, looking back on this, say I've studied to go short here and get stopped out here? Like, there's no way. Unless it's, there's, right, heck no, right? This isn't something you study and work towards trading, yet you ended up trading like that. Why? Well, because this is like poison. That's why. It causes you to do things that you don't otherwise want to do, that you wouldn't do, that you don't plan to do, and yet you find yourself doing potentially every single day. What's an OBR? Oh, you probably mean ORB. Again, it's not a long-term thing where I'm saying eliminate the 1 minute. I'm saying what tools can you use in the short term to not cause yourself to get spooked out from 1 minute price action. That's what I'm saying. So in the beginning, can you trade a 5 minute orb without the 1 minute? Yes, you can. You can do that. And you can look at other strategies like, all right, well, what's retracement strategy? 33%, 50%, 67%. Where do things often retrace to? Where are other moving averages? You can put 1 minute moving averages on other time frames by recalculating them into different ways and have it match where it would be. You can do that also, which is not completely accurate, but you can get a little closer if you look at moving averages. Again, you can make it really small. There's a lot of different ways you can try, but you got to get somehow your brain to stop thinking that the 1 minute is the god and your entry indicator, your exit indicator, your stop placement, unless that is your trading style that you're really wanting to move towards. And then you need to do something else, like using smaller share size, managing your risk, making sure you understand you need to change the shares. That's why Andrew's not comfortable trading a $400 stock. He can't manage his risk. He is comfortable trading a $100 stock, but for a new trader, like when I started out, I was not comfortable trading a $100 stock, and now I am. That takes time because I would have 3 winners on something like MU, 1 loser on something like BABA, which was higher than 100, and I would just, like, my 1 loser would far outweigh my 3 winners. Yeah, Eagle Bear. Sometimes when we get on not a tangent, when we go deeper into it, I never want you to feel like anyone's harping on you. It's great, right? That's why when you share, the best trade shared so far was the bad trade, and Eagle Bear was willing to share it, and it was the most learning experience for the traders in the room, I'm gonna guess. So thank you for sharing, Eagle Bear.